anniversary of Warhammer 40k! Happy anniversary, Games Workshop! Thanks for inventing the miniature wargame hobby, Games Workshop! Get out of here, you Prussian generals! Shoo! The nerve. This week is all about Warhammer 40k. Like every week, really. And Games Workshop chose to celebrate the birthday of Warhammer 40k by revealing lots and lots of stuff exclusively for Imperial Guard. A bit one-sided, I suppose. Though I'm happy, Imperial Guard are my favorite army. They were my first army that I ever hit 2,000 points with back in 2006. So obviously, new things for a faction I love is exclusively good for everybody. Because I will hurt the doll otherwise. I'm not bluffing. I'm not. Unfortunately, I won't play with them anytime soon because I made a terrible bet this week that will be taking up all of my future hobby time. We're gonna get 10th edition today. This is how confident I am in it being 10th edition. I will, if it's not 10th edition, I will buy and paint and build 2,000 points of Space Marines, an army I have never collected. Oh god. Oh, it's too early. Yeah, unfortunately, 10th edition was not announced. I guess I was a little bit early with that prediction. That means 2,000 points of Space Marines for me. Oh boy. A very, very expensive bet to lose. I'm gonna need to do like some Patreon exclusive content or something. At the very least, I might encourage you to use my referral links in the description below more often. On the topic of bad decisions though, on the Warhammer 40k 35th anniversary stream, GW covered all the editions of Warhammer 40k in a fun little retrospective trailer, except for 4th and 5th edition. What the hell, guys? They were my edition. They were my home. Bad showing just leaving them out. You just couldn't wait to get the Gulliman in the timeline, could you? What has he got that I don't? Except for thick, rigid abs and a propensity for autocracy. Nevertheless, let's talk about the new Imperial Guard because GW...
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Guard have been crying out for a range refresh for a long time. But have they been ruined? I've seen a lot of people say, yeah, actually. Especially the old school Guard diehards. Lots of them aren't happy with some of the changes to the Imperial Guard with these new sculpts. And I get where people are coming from, but for me personally, I kinda like what I see. The new models are a lot less, shall we say, missing link than the old ones, and I say that as someone who has always loved the old Guardsman sculpts. But let's be honest, some of them looked a little halfway down the Evolution of Man infograph, if you catch my drift. Katachan ain't exactly walking upright. Unfortunately, only Kydia has been included in the range refresh. So far, we have seen new guardsmen or Kydian shock troopers that can be built using the same kit. They've got silly knee pads, but otherwise, I think they look pretty cool. I kind of like them. They've got the older style helmets of the guard from like the 90s, and I've always preferred that look. I just hope they have a ton of options in this kit because they're looking a little bit monopose for my taste. As well as that, we were shown some new heavy weapon teams, and okay, they're looking pretty good. Now, before we go any further, I must inform you that my 2,000 points Imperial Guard list that I made all the way back in the days of baggy jeans and disc media, it was pure infantry. Pure moist. That was my very first 2,000 points army. Nothing but guardsmen platoons and heavy weapon squads. Glorious. They admittedly were trash and I lost a lot of games, but they looked good while doing it. And this means that I am pretty happy to see updates to my old neglected heavy weapon wielding boys. I have to admit, everybody, I feel like I've refound an old lover. One that has inspired quite the flames in my loins. Does that have to be censored? Anyway, here they are. Look at these bad boys. Does it not make you weep to see? These are without a doubt my new favorite Warhammer 40k models in the entire range. What can I say? There's something viscerally primal about witnessing a couple of guys handle a long, thick cannon. It's the phallic imagery, I think. But the rocket artillery looks pretty fantastic too. I can't wait to nibble some warfers with this. Seriously, my all-infantry guardsman army would have killed for this kind of firepower. Cha! excellent sculpts that slot very well into the existing army and open up new gameplay opportunities while still remaining firmly in the wheelhouse of the Imperial Guard playstyle. I love it. I really like it. Design and function, it's got it all. See, you just had to do this with the Votan Games Workshop. Make good minis. In less exciting news, new Sentinels. I'm fine with these. They're more rounded. I get why people aren't as happy with these, but I've kind of come round to them with time. They have a little bit of the Soviet aesthetic. The new command squad looks okay. The actual squad looks pretty good, though I'm not the biggest fan of the actual commander himself. I think I'll continue to use my old nerd general. Seriously, he is a big dweeb. But I do like the neutral poses of the command squad. These men look like the type of guys that are stationed fairly well behind a lot of human shields. I dig that. It's appropriate for Guard. The Commissar as well here. This is a new sculpt. He's very neutrally posed. He looks okay, I guess, though I just feel like he's going to go snitch on TJ Detweiler to Miss Fincher at any moment. He's not very intimidating, and again, I think I'll continue to use my old Commissar. Not got that drip, boy. Finally, we have the Kyrian Castellan, who apparently has a ton of customization options, which sounds great. Guard should be all about customization. They are a blank canvas for hobbyists to imprint themselves upon like an angry pin art toy. So I love these new sculpts, and options seem great. However, there is a sting in the teal. Move over. Baby shoes for sale, never worn. We have a new saddest sentence in the English language. Sentinel sold separately. What a strange thing to specify in the Imperial Guard trailer. I did not want to be right about this one. I really didn't. I wanted to just be excited for some new miniatures. But Games Workshop won't let me because unfortunately, yeah, the Sentinel is sold separately. That's specified because the entire reveal is mostly showing an Imperial Guard army box. Games Workshop are using these miniatures to normalize their new practice of creating army boxes that contain early access models and limited codices for those who can afford to buy a large bundle all at once, or at the very least for those who feel an intense FOMO that only a new hyped limited release can bring. Games Workshop, I guess, aren't making enough money from the constant explicit price rises because they also need to create stealth price rises like these. And I'm not going to belabor this point, but my issue here isn't with the bundling itself. Releasing a bundle is fine, but let us buy the constituent parts separately. Allow hobbyists the choice. I wouldn't have such an issue with these army boxes if they were released alongside the rest of the model range. But, and I've said this many times, and my position remains the same as usual, selling early access in a big bundle like this is a way of tricking consumers into paying extra money for no added value. Games Workshop control when these products release. They could just release everything at once, but they choose not to because it makes them more money. This is bad for us, and it's becoming increasingly normal. In 2010, Dark Eldar got an entire range refresh. And do you know what I did in 2010? I bought some of the new models. I bought the Codex, a Kabalite Warrior squad, and a Witch squad. I didn't buy a bundle because I didn't want everything, and I couldn't have afforded to buy an army box. I bought what I wanted. These days, I wouldn't be so lucky. I'd probably get nothing except the joy of watching other people get to build and paint their models early. This is bad business, and good sculpts do not excuse bad business. This release model sucks and is objectively worse for us. It reduces our choices and offers literally nothing in return. And unfortunately, the release of the Imperial Guard gets even worse because there are new Kasrkin miniatures.
Kasrkin squad ready for war.
That are plastic, finally! Yes! My metal brothers have some new comrades, you know, for my Warhammer 40k games, where they've always played. Unfortunately, in order for me to buy these, I'm gonna need to buy a Kill Team bundle that comes with a bunch of terrain and Necron models too. That's right, to get 10 Kasrkin models, I have to spend hundreds of dollars. So if I want to start building my new Guard army, and I want to include Kasrkin because, I don't know, my Imperial Guard have always included Kasrkin, and I've literally been waiting decades for a plastic release of the sculpts, I will have to wait a further number of months for them to be released separately. And why? Well, because Games Workshop want me to buy the bundle. They want me to get excited over the sculpts, which I am, and feel a pressure to pick up the new, very expensive Kill Team box, which I do. That's the only reason. And it's not a great reason in my opinion. It's a pretty loathsome one, actually. Again, in 2010, I bought things separately. This is a step backwards from 2010, which admittedly has been like the last 13 years. It's so frustrating, it's so annoying. I want to be unreservedly excited for these new models. These miniatures are something that I would buy. The Kasrkin look good to me. So, the Imperial Guard release, overall, yeah, it's Cadians again. Sorry. I don't personally mind that. I like the Cadian aesthetic. Starship Troopers is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Frankly, I find the idea of a bug that thinks offensive.
But I get that it sucks for those who like the Mordian Iron Guard, or the Krieg, or the Steel Legion, or Katachan, or any other of the wide variety of regiments out there. My recommendation to you, though, if you do like those alternative regiments, is to check out Wargames Atlantic. They do a lot of really awesome miniatures that look extremely reminiscent of many Imperial Guard regiments.
Would you like to know more?
But I like the models. I hate the release style, and now we get to play the really fun game to see what the price increase looks like. There is no new starter box, not even a 9.5, no new 10th edition, nothing revelatory. And now I have to build a 2,000 point Space Marine army. I think I'm gonna need more glue. But hey, you never know, maybe Games Workshop will take on some of my big changes to save Warhammer 40k. Check all 6 of them out here. And a big thanks to Sonic Bread and to all my patrons for your support. It helps keep the channel going, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye!